up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha. Represent Mocha's Cafe de Paris. I'm always telling you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Big ups to all of my subscribers. Again, I thank each and every one of you for your support. And those of you who have recently subscribed, I welcome you to Mocha's Cafe de Paris family. And if this is your first time hearing any of my content for the first time ever, make sure before you leave, you like, you share, you subscribe, join the movement, be a part and partake in this wonderful journey of content, as I love to do. So, with that being said, I'm not going to waste a lot of time. I'm going to go directly into this. I've already pretty much discussed this particular interview with Mr. Kevin Scamuels and Nicki Minaj. I did mention, I gave my perspective on it when it first initially aired, and there was a few things that I did not know that I wanted to reiterate discussing this particular interview with Mr. Scamuels and Nicki Minaj. There was a few things that pretty much really disturbed me about this whole interview. And I would definitely say this is the first time I've ever seen Mr. Scamuels conduct himself in such a humble manner, being in the presence of a black woman, especially those who he feel are not nines and don't feel like they're the ones who he consider below average. I was very surprised to see a totally different demeanor, to see a totally different character, to see a totally different persona. I've never even seen Kevin Samuel's teeth as much as I have seen throughout this interview with Nicki Minaj. He was smiling so much, he damn well could have did a commercial for Colgate or Listerine. That's just how much he was cheesing and smiling. He was in such an awe. He was so mesmerized with being in the presence of Nicki Minaj himself that all his typical drilling and going in, you know, he definitely put all of that on the shelf because he was in such an awe. He was basking in the ambience, you know, being in the presence of Nicki Minaj, Queen Bee, Queen Barbie herself. And I never even knew this side of Mr. Scamuels. Now, keep in mind, I am not a fan. I'm not a foe. I'm not subscribed to his content. I have caught content here and there through other content creators who either support him or don't support them. Don't support him. So I'm not a fan of his, you know, all foe. You know, and that's just, you know, my decision because I've seen too much inconsistencies way before this with Nicki Minaj. I've seen Mr. Scamuels say one thing, do another. I've seen him use other people's talking points and finesse it, dress it up, you know, slap it, flip it, rub it down real good. He knows how to remix the hell out of other people's viewpoints. But if you're not a person who's been in the YouTube atmosphere as a subscriber or as a content creator, if you've only known Mr. Scamuels through his content and his platform only, you've never been in the manosphere, you've never been in other black YouTube sector spaces before his success and his notoriety, then you're pretty much late. You're coming at the end of the movie. So in order for most of y'all to get a real understanding, you would have of how Mr. Scamuels was, you would have had to been a viewer from the beginning, before his success blew up. And you would see why there's so many people that are holding a certain level of animosity towards him. A lot of people are seeing him as a fraud, seeing him as a phony. And people who are just coming in the end of the movie, y'all already have drawn y'all conclusion as to Mr. Scamuels being an expert in dating, as far as him being the expert in giving marital advice. A lot of you who are just catching the end of the movie, not knowing the beginning of how the journey started before he became this large and successful, It's easy for you to defend and co-sign on his shenanigans because, again, you're catching the end. But those of us who have been in the Black YouTube sector for years, probably since 2015, 16, 17, we already are aware of the fuckery, and I won't say fuckery, the fakery. We're already fully aware of it. So those of you that are just coming in the game, before you want to jump to Mr. Scamuels' defense and give him all this credibility and give him all this acknowledgement, unless you were there from the beginning, your opinion really doesn't count. Not to say that my opinion is more valid, but you can't explain the full movie to somebody if you're only catching the end of the movie. You get what I'm saying? So I'm sure if you want to know if a movie was a good movie, if you want an opinion about a movie, and you had two different people, one person who saw the movie from the beginning versus another person who caught the movie in the middle, you would rather get the opinion from the person who saw the movie from the beginning, because you're going to get the full details from the beginning to the end versus somebody who's coming in on the end. So I get it. You have a lot of Kevin Scamuels diehard fans that are going to support him. You're going to ride for him no matter how many lies, no matter how much contradictions he gets caught in. You're going to make it make sense to yourself. You're going to justify it. You're going to try to reason with it. You're going to try to rationalize it. And I get it. Anytime you worship anything, you're going to try to make it make sense in your own mind, because nobody wants to have gone a substantial amount of time praising and worshiping and following a certain individual, only to have to admit that this individual is not who all of what he says or she says. Because many people in the Black YouTube sector, other than Mr. Scamuels, who have been exposed for not being who they pretend to be, who they try to pretend to be. A lot of content creators, slowly but surely, we've seen Derek Jackson, we've seen Tasha K. It's a lot of content creators who get in this game and they get all this praise and worship service from all of these subscribers, these diehard fans that's going to ride with them regardless of how many lies they get caught and exposed in. He's not the only one. This has been going on since the beginning of time, and slowly but surely, people get exposed, and this is one of the curses that come along with becoming a popular YouTube social media influence. People are drawn to you for what they feel it is you're providing for them. If people love gossip, they love to hear about the downfall of celebrities. They follow Tasha K. If you love to hear men, if you love to hear a male content creator going in on men and basically exposing that men are not faithful, men are not who what they truly pretend to be, you'll follow Derek Jackson. If you're a Black man that has a problem with Black women, you pretty much have gained a certain level of hostility towards them, some type of bitterness, follow Kevin Samuels. The list goes on. I can name several content creators. In other words, people follow you for whatever purpose that suits them. Okay, if you want to follow someone, on YouTube that knows how to gossip, somebody that knows how to bash Black men, somebody that knows how to bash Black women, you already know who to follow. I don't have to give you names. You already know. So people will support and follow that individual if that individual is basically giving content in which they feel suits their narratives and benefits their beliefs. That's just the way that it is. So with that being said, what usually tends to happen to a lot of content creators when they first start off in the Black YouTube sector. Their content is more authentic because when you first initially become a content creator, your hunger is different because you don't have the views, you don't have the popularity. So you're starting out as a nobody. You're starting from scratch where nobody really knows you. You don't have a name. You're pretty much not even known. In the as far as the aspect of YouTube sector, your content again is more genuine, it's more authentic because the hunger behind it um is a lot more is a lot more enhanced due to the fact that you're trying to grow, you're trying to get known, you're trying to build your brand and build your channel. So you're very authentic. Most content creators are very authentic when they first begin being a blogger. Now there's only a select few, no matter how much they have grown, no matter how big their channel has become, no matter how many viewers they have earned, no matter how many subscribers they have earned, they are still the same genuine, authentic content creators they first were from the very beginning, and they have not wavered on that. Because again, they're not allowing views, they're not allowing success to make them change their narratives and make them change who they are. So this is something that a lot of content creators don't have the gift to do. But in most cases, when certain content creators have reached a level of success, they have reached a level of notoriety, and now they're getting all this love, all this support, all the cash apps, all the super chats they weren't getting in the initial beginning. Something about increase in views, increase in subscribers, increase in super chats, it also increases the ego. It always strokes the pride of that individual when they finally have reached a place of arrival. They're now getting their views over 2,000, going live stream. They're finally getting all their super chats. They have finally reached that plateau in which now what tends to happen is success tends to get the best of them. Success gets the best of them, and it makes them change who they are. Basically, everyone cannot handle success. Some people know how to be humble in their success, and then you have others that gain arrogance in their success. But sooner than later, regardless, the true you is going to unfold. You can't pretend to be a certain way to gain a certain level of success. Eventually, at some point in time, the real you is going to be surfaced. People are really going to see what you're made of as you begin to excel in this game. The longer you continue to be a content creator, eventually people are going to start noticing your flaws. They're going to start noticing your faults. If in any type of way you have gained your notoriety, your relevance through deceptive means, in other words, you're preaching content just to gain certain viewers to subscribe to your channel. You speak on things, you preach on things, hoping to gain the attention of individuals that will buy in and invest into the content, the toxic content that you're promoting. If you're really not about that life that you have built your platform upon, it's going to be easy for other people to get you to waver. In other words, if you're coming into the content game, you decide to be a content creator in YouTube, and you have started your platform based on what you want people to believe you are. You're basically gain viewers and subscribers through false advertisement, through false intentions, meaning you've only started your platform off of this type of material because you knew it would draw the majority of the audience that you want to be able to gain from. It's not going to take much as you grow and become successful for you to feel you have to change who you are, change what you believe in to appease or gain the attention of certain individuals. In this case, for all of you who do not understand, that is exactly what Mr. Kevin Scamuels did. Kevin Scamuels initially started his platform off of putting sisters in check. Okay? Nothing is wrong with that. If that's how he's building his brand off of, building content, creating content in which black women or women, because this is just not have been black women he called into his show, so I'm not just going to say all black women, but the majority of the women he interviews are black. But he has built his platform off of putting women in check who call into his show. Now, there's been times, depending on his mood or depending on who he felt at that moment didn't need that heat drill, he would only drill certain women, and certain women he would not drill. Now, I've seen a few cases, like I said, I don't watch him a lot, but I notice when it comes to celebrity women, his drill game ain't the same. When it comes to celebrity women, women of high status, maybe women of a certain level of attraction in his eyes, Mr. Scamuels has his picks and chooses of what type of women he wants to give the drill game to, and other women who he spares. And I'm noticing the pattern is, if you have a certain level of relevance, Mr. Scamuels is not going to give you the heat game as strongly as an average woman who does not have celebrity status, who does not have notoriety. And don't let her be below average in his eyes as far as her physical attributes. He's not going to have any empathy. He's going to give them that drill. He's going to give them that drill. And he's always done platform based off the fact of putting women in check that are making ratchet decisions, women that are making poor choices, and men poor choices in their eating habits, which is why they're overweight or obese. He's always did the majority of his content off of putting black women in check, pointing out their faults to them. And if any of these women dare to challenge him or dare to come at him in any type of way where he felt he was being disrespected, he will give them that drill. He will go in. He will hang up on them. We know Mr. Scamuels' typical style when it comes to putting black women in their place, especially if they're not fitting the narratives that he has been preaching for years that they need to have. So, all of that being said, Mr. Scamuels did not apply any of that when he had this interview with Mrs. Nicki Minaj. Now, I will say this. Nicki Minaj is an attractive woman. She's very talented. She is highly successful. This is not something that none of us are not already aware of. However, Mr. Scamuels, Mr. putting black women in check himself, letting black women have it, I've never seen him cheese in such a manner in which, he basically could have did a Colgate commercial. He was smiling just that much. I've never even seen his teeth up until now, until I seen him do the interview with Nicki Minaj. I never seen his teeth. I didn't even know he could smile that much with women. I never even knew he could get that giddy in the presence of a female, a black female at that. I'm amazed at how he conducted himself so humbly. And to me, Mr. Scamuels was giving off groupie vibes. And this is what I mean by groupie. We know what groupies do. You have groupies who intentionally, consistently on a stakeout when it comes to celebrity men. You have groupies that keep up with every football game, basketball game. They keep up with all the celebrity after parties. You know, they make it a lifestyle to be a groupie, hoping that eventually one day they will catch the likes of a certain male celebrity figure. You have these groupies. They intentionally go to these basketball games, not because they like basketball games, but they go to these athletic events dressed a certain way, looking a certain way, because they know in order to gain attention, you first got to be in that atmosphere. You first have to get these men to notice you before you can even get close to them. Okay? So you have these groupies. They make a living off of making sure they are at all the events, the basketball games, the after parties, they are there. And what a lot of these groupies do, some of them will go so far to trying to gain the attention of these professional athletes. If they find out which hotel suite these players are booked at, these Marriotts, these penthouse suites, they will make it their business to circulate that area. Groupies will make it their business to hang around in the lobby, to hang around in that area, knowing sooner than later, if she hangs out there long enough, she's going to catch the attention of one of those professional athletes. So as soon as one of these athletes come in that lobby, and if he's gullible enough, or if he's on a mission his damn self, looking for some action, you know, because the wife, missus at home, kids at home, he's been on the road 2-3 weeks, hasn't had any, he's sexually frustrated, he wants to be relieved, he wants to have a good time, he won a game, they won a victory, he wants to celebrate, but not just with his homeboys. He needs some, you know, relaxation. So what tends to happen, the groupie catches him during his mission of needing some attention, and they do what they do. He takes her up to his place, to his suite. They get it in, have a good time. You know, she got her 15 minutes of fame, and he got his 15 minutes as well. So they both had a good time. Only for him to find out that this broad has smeared his name because she decided to take a picture of him when he is knocked out sleep after busting a good nut or two, and she posts it on her Instagram. Now he got his teammates calling him, "Hey man, you know what's going on? What's you know this dude broad got your name all over Instagram?" Now you want to piss on yourself because it's circulating all over Instagram. You know somebody's going to call the missus at home and tell her, but you were so caught up in the moment. You let this female starstruck you. You were starstruck simping because you know you are a star. And she was starstruck. You used it to your advantage, and then she turned around and used you. When you thought you got what she wanted, when you thought you got what you wanted, she got what she wanted. This was the case with Mr. Kevin Scamuels. Kevin Scamuels was so starstruck. What I did not know, which I found out after initially giving my first intake on the situation, I was stunned to find out that he did just what groupies do. He made a groupie move. He went to Nicki Minaj's platform. She did not ask to come to him. He went to hers. Now, again, this is not Mr. Scamuels' typical style. This is not his usual style. Mr. Scamuels is so confident and so cocky in women reaching out to him. He has never had to follow women. He has never had to run to a woman's platform or run to a woman's live stream. That's not his style because, again, he is so cocky and arrogant in women reaching out to him. And that's how his platform has always been based upon women following him. Now, I was quite disturbed and quite surprised to discover that he made a groupie move. He ran to this woman's platform. She didn't beg for him to be there. She didn't book for him to be there. She didn't ask him to be there. He ran over to Nicki Minaj's live stream like a groupie, ran to the Marriott, hanging out in the lobby, hoping and waiting to get the attention of their favorite professional athlete. That's what Mr. Scamuels did. So, I want to give my analysts on this because there's a couple of things I mentioned that I noticed a lot of other people didn't mention that I wanted to mention from a woman's perspective. Now, I know it's been different women speaking on this, but I actually analyzed and looked a little deeper into this. I'm studying body language. I'm studying the tone. I'm looking more deeply into this. Everybody's just been kind of skimming on this interview. They've been stating the obvious, stating that Kevin Scamuels was simping and that Nicki Minaj pretty much, had him to succumb to her. We pretty much know that's the overall objective. But there's a lot of other significant things that went on in this interview that other people didn't mention. So bear with me because as this interview is going, I'm going to stop, pause, break, and give my own, what's the word? I'm going to give my own perspective of this whole interview because, again, we've been skimming and kind of like, dismissing other little significant details that a lot of people, well, some of you probably peeped it. But anyway, in order for me to get everybody to be on board, that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop. I'm going to pause because I want y'all to be able to catch everything that like I'm catching it. So we're definitely going to break this down to a science. We're going to break this down to the lowest common denominator because we can't let Mr. Scamuels slide on this one. He's going to have to take this L. He's going to take this L. We're going to make sure he owns this L. I don't care how many of y'all are rocking for him, not rocking for him. How many of y'all come in my chat room under my comment section talking greasy. I'ma just block you. I'ma delete you, but you're welcome to leave your comment, but I'm still going to remove it if you're saying something reckless and you're being disrespectful because I'm not about to deal with the Scamuels cult members. I'm not about to deal with y'all coming in here talking greasy because your great value godfather done got caught folding in the presence of a black woman who, had she had not been a star, had she been average, he would have gave her the drill. He would have gave her that heat game, okay? So instead, he didn't give her that heat game. He got lame. That's what he did, okay? So we're gonna go into this. We're gonna break it down to the lowest common denominator. So again, I already told y'all what I'm gonna be doing. So let the funs and the games begin. Yeah, we're going to definitely be evaluating this whole situation. So let's go.
Why I love the universe and I am a firm believer of the universe. Okay. Listen, I wanted to get on and talk to you for a very long time.
Fair use. Now, she said, I've been wanting to get on and talk with you for a very long time. In other words, what she's saying, I've been hearing some mess about you. Because I'm a black woman. So other black women been coming to me? If not, I've been watching you my damn self, watching how you talk to other black women. So I've been wanting a piece of you. I've been wanting to talk to you. Okay. But so I'm glad the opportunity has finally presented itself because we sure got a whole lot to discuss. I want to see what you all about. So I'm glad this opportunity has presented itself.
Well, what do you rate me?
Is that what we're starting off with?
Yeah.
Do you think the men rate women?
No, I thought, because isn't that what you do?
That's, what have you seen of my content? Have you just seen like the clips?
Yeah. I think I always see people calling you and then you tell them, you ain't no such and such. You lying to yourself. You ain't this, you know.
Okay, I want to pause there. Now, keep in mind, I had to chop it up a little bit. If y'all hear some in or out for fair use purposes, I got to do that intentionally so it doesn't seem as if I'm using too much information. Now, I don't think he peeped what Nicki Minaj said, but basically what she insinuated was, I know that a lot of these women, they normally call your show trying to be funny. Everybody's not calling you on a serious tip. Some of these women are calling you to be funny, or other words, they're calling you for attention, or they're calling you to get a little spotlight. But I'm gonna ask you a real serious question. Because basically, she already initially said in the beginning, like, I heard about you, okay? I know how you get down. I know how you get on. I know how you go in on women. And she said again, I know how you like to rate women, okay? So I want to know how you gonna rate me. Now, Nikki is being smart because she's using her stardom to her advantage. She's using her stardom to her advantage because normally most women don't go in right away and say, how do you rate me? She's already asking that in the initial beginning. Now, you can see Kevin Samuels already got a little, she shook him just a little. Oh, we already starting with that. Oh, you already want to know. Like, man, she already testing me. We just started the session and she already tested me. She already trying to size me up. She already trying to see what I'm all about and how I get down. So she's asking him this for a reason. Because she knows that Mr. Scamuels is the king of drilling. That's what he does. He drills women. And part of his drilling sessions is he actually rates them. Okay? So when she asks him that, her facial expression is like, let me see. Let me see how you gonna rate me. Cause you always rating women, degrading them. And she even said that. She said usually when you rate women, you always say they're below, however she phrased it just now before I stopped it. So she knows, even Nicki Minaj knows that is his usual style. That is what he does. So she wants to see if he's really about that life. Let's see what this Negro gonna tell me. Let's see how he rate me, because I know I'm Nikki. So let me see if he gonna have the balls to rate me the way he rates these other women. Let's go.
What I typically don't do is I don't typically rate people. I ask if they rate themselves. I usually ask these questions.
So let's start it that way.
Yeah. How tall are you?
Okay, so he made sure he recovered real quickly. I usually ask people to rate themselves. I really don't rate them. And we've heard him rate people before, okay? He does that sometimes, but not all the time. He don't always ask women to rate themselves, but let's go.
I'm 5'3".
Dress size?
My dress size? Then the Don said, my dress size, that's a good question. I guess a 4?
right? And on a scale from 1 to 10, you can't use 7. What would you rank yourself? Fresh face out of the shower. Just you.
Yeah.
That's how I always ask the question.
Seven.
Can't use 7. That's why 7 is the most common answer.
Really?
It's the default answer for most people because they don't want to go too high, they don't want to go too low.
Well, no, it ain't a default answer for me.
Well, let's see. I'll give you a 9.
He folded right here. This part is when he dropped the ball. First of all, how you going to ask somebody to rate themselves, and then not only after they rate themselves, you're going to increase the rate. Now, I'm not a fan of Kevin Scamuels. I don't watch a lot of his content, but I've never known him to boost a woman's rating. I've never heard if a woman say, I think I'm a 4. No, you're actually a 7. I think I'm a 8. No, you're actually a 10. I've never heard him give women this level of confidence. If anything, it's always been the opposite. I know if a woman rates herself as a 4, if he asks a woman to rate herself and she says, I think I'm a 4, he'll say, no, you're actually a 2. Or if she says, well, I think I'm a 1, no, you're a -0. This is not Kevin Scamuels' usual style. This is not his style. Even Nikki is reading through it. That is why her eyes expression, she's rolling her eyes. She's trying him. She's testing him. But he's so starstruck. He's not paying attention. He's not reading in between the lines. You know, he's trying to play it smooth. You know, he's trying not to tip the boat. She already put him in a position in which she outrightly asked him, how do you rate me? You know, so of course he tried to diffuse it. How would you rate yourself? So see, he played it safe. He made sure she rated herself first so he would know what next number to increase to make himself look good by making her look good. Okay? Because if he would have just flat out rated her on his own and said, well, I feel like you was 4. And she said, oh, well, absolutely not. I think I'm at least a 7. How you going to rate me a 4? What makes you think I'm a 4? See, he didn't want that type of combat. He didn't want that type of heat. So what he did was he flipped the script. He asked her. That way, that would give him an advantage and picking a higher number. Ain't this some shit? Let's keep it moving.
I will give you 9 because you have the facial symmetry and you get additional points for eyes.
Okay, he's cupcaking. Now, he already gave her the 9. All right, now, again, this is not Kevin Scamuels' usual style because I don't even watch that much of his content, but I even heard him say one time, there's no woman capable of being a 10. So if she thinks she's a 10, she's already at a disadvantage because 10 is perfect and nobody's a 10. So for him to give her a 9, to me, that's damn near saying she close to perfect. So he fumbled on this one. All right. Even Nikki is saying, wow, not because she's impressed. Okay. He's thinking Nicki Minaj is impressed. She's seen or she's either heard this man degrade multiple women on his platform. And he's never rated women a 9. I don't even think Beyonce was rated a 9. Maybe she was. I'm not sure. So in other words, I guess if you are a celebrity, you'll get a 9. But anybody else that's below, you're not going to get a 9 unless you have a platinum record or you're married to one of the most multi-million entrepreneur men. So it's going to have to be one or the other. But anyway, She's already smelling that he's full of crap. All right, but we're going to proceed.
Full lips. See, it's not. I'm an actual image consultant. I'm sure you deal with a lot of people who take your pictures and stuff and so forth. You have a symmetrical face. And so it's much more based upon facial symmetry. It's not based on European beauty standards or anything like that. It's much more based upon what babies, animals, human beings have evolved to find attractive.
Wow.
You get.
My thing is, he's talking about her facial structure, but he's overlooking the fact that Nicki Minaj's facial structure has a lot to do with the type of makeup she's wearing. A lot of these celebrities and him being an image consultant, I know that he knows these makeup artists specialize in doing makeup in which it can make a woman's nose look smaller, it can make her eyes look smaller. It's a certain way makeup is contoured on a woman's skin, on her face, to change her facial features. You can put a certain amount of makeup on a woman's nose and make her nose look smaller, or make her nose look wider, or you wear certain colors. Certain colors can make a woman's lips look thicker or bigger than what it is. It's all kind of tricks to maneuvering with makeup. Kevin Scamuels, no, Nicki Minaj is wearing every bit of 10 pounds of makeup on her face. Yet, he's up here telling her she has the facial symmetry and she's a 9. As much as he goes in on women being unartificial, wearing makeup, wearing weave, and wearing all these artificial additives, but yet he's speaking to a woman who also wears these artificial additives, which nothing is wrong with that. That's her brand. That's how she markets herself. But it's a lot of cupcaking and starstruck simping going on in the atmosphere. I'm getting a lot of starstruck simping energy from Mr. Scamuels. Let's go.
And you get additional points because we have evolved to find more slanted eyes somewhat attractive, especially when they're not on Asian.
Okay, slanted eyes. All right. He just keeps digging himself deeper in the grave. The cupcaking is at an all-time high. She's wearing makeup. That's why her eyes are slanted. Okay, there's a certain way women put eyelash. No, they put. I forgot what it's called. It's an eyeliner. It's a way that women apply eyeliner to their eyes in which they can get that Asian look, that Japanese look. A lot of women do it. And he's giving her credit for something that she doesn't naturally have. She was not born with those eyes. No, she's not Asian. There's black women who naturally have almond eyes. He's giving her credit for something that she purchased, not something that's natural. So, again, he's steady cupcaking. The ball just keeps rolling down the field. But we'll proceed.
Wow.
But that's not what gets translated. Most of the time, people take my clips and cut it down to something that's going to make a viral moment. It's going to start a conversation. Take the good with the bad. Have you seen anything else that I do?
I saw one time when you checked this lady for, I guess it was a white lady or a Hispanic lady, and you was like, oh, you're not going to come on this show and talk down on black women. That's what the fuck you're not going to do.
Yeah.
And so again, that was a clip. I didn't see the context really, but
well, I get a rap of hating black women, and it's far from that. I mean, there are over 50 black women who report that they've gotten married as a result of watching my content.
Really?
It's on my Instagram. I actually had a young sister just post up saying, "Hey, as a result of you, I snatched the ring." I just actually posted a brother who was about to move to the Dominican Republic, and he found his wife in my Facebook group. Like 12 couples have gotten married in there. But that stuff doesn't get publicized. But when I'm talking about relationships, I'm talking about men and women, but because I'm black, I'm talking about us. And time to time, I would bring stuff in, and then a lot of times sisters would say, well, men, when they get to a certain level, they only want white women, it is to that. So I let women from other races come in. I'm like, okay, well, can you learn anything from them? What would you teach them? And the one woman came in and she thought she was going to do what I did to black women. Mm-hmm. Like, hold on, oh wait. Now we can talk this way. Carrie, you sit your ass down over there, because I don't play that. I wouldn't let despite popular opinion, I love my mother, I love my daughter, but we do have to have a family conversation, and what's starting to happen more is actually we're starting to have more conversations about this. It ain't comfortable, but we're starting to see progress.
Well, let me ask you this just outright then. Mm-hmm. Why do successful black men date outside of their race?
Well, I would say this. When I look at men, I split them up. Guys that I consider to be in the industry, music, entertainment, athletics, and then guys on the business side. Business side, because I come from that side. But more often than not, black men want to be with black women. Mm. 85% of black men are married to black women.
Oh.
When I had my guys come to me, even after they got themselves together, like Dennis Furley, the guy who just moved, he found his black wife in my group.
Now, at this point, he's trying to balance it out because Nicki Minaj basically told him that, hey, I already heard you have a disdain for black women. You don't care for black women. Now, keep in mind, he's in front of a black woman that is a multi-millionaire who he's basically putting in the hot seat. So at this point, he's playing it safe. He's trying to stay in a safety zone. He's trying to mellow it on out by digressing, by stating, hey, I've gotten people married. I've gotten black couples married. I put a white woman in check, for trying to come to my platform and not black women. He's straddling the fence. He's still cupcaking. He's basically trying to digress and change the subject. Because again, she already pretty much made him aware that I already know what you're about. I already know you don't like us. I know you don't care for black women. And him being in front of this star, he cannot really go in and really express the narratives that he's been preaching about black women. Because again, this is a business move. Not only that, he's intimidated by this woman. Kevin Scamuels is intimidated by Nicki Minaj because she's putting him in a hot seat. She's asking him questions like, I want to know, what is it about this? What is it about that? And he knows, because this mega star he has in front of him, he does not want to rub this woman the wrong way. Okay? All that drilling, heat game, he knows this is not the time to do it. Even though this is the persona, this is the cape he has always worn. I'm here to save the day for black men by putting black women in check. This ain't the time for me to do all that. I'm going to have to humble myself and bow down to the queen. I'm going to have to put myself in a peasant position. I cannot out-king the queen. Even though I act like I'm such a king on my show because I can talk to these below average women that don't have success or aren't on my level, I got the advantage to kind of talk down on them, but I'm not going to do that with the queen here because I already know she's more valuable than me. I already know she's more successful than me. I already know if I go on her, the barbs are going to be on my ass. I don't want her sending her goons on me. No, I'm going to give this lady the utmost respect. I'm going to bow down to Queen B. Let's go.
Black men we want to be with them. The problem is, let's be honest, in my lifetime, we weren't really raised to learn how to get along with one another.
Now, I will say this. Yeah, there are black men who want to be with black women, but you never discuss that, Mr. Scamuels. You never emphasize that as much as you emphasize black women not being worthy of getting a black man. That's the only thing I agree with, Mr. Scamuels. And I only agree because I am married to a black man. And I've been with my black man for 22 years, going on 23. And there are other black women I know that have been with their black men for years. So I agree with you on this only. There are black men who do want black women and vice versa. But you don't emphasize that. You don't preach that as much as you preach all the negative stuff about black men and black women finding love.
We can kick it. We can hook up. And can we work together long term. And I mean, you're married now, right? Okay, marriage is.
Now, this part stood out to me significantly. A lot of content creators didn't speak on this. First of all, he asked Nicki Minaj, is she married? He know good goddamn well Nicki Minaj is married. He almost forgot what the hell he was because he's used to asking women that question. Are you married? He know Nicki Minaj is married. Now, a lot of people, I noticed some of the guys tried to insinuate that Nicki Minaj wouldn't give him an answer. Nicki Minaj didn't reply to that. Yes, she did. She didn't verbally say yes, but she shook her head slowly, like, yes, I am. And I believe the reason Nicki Minaj did that, and I could tell the look on her face, she was very stern with that reply. And she was very serious. She didn't verbalize it, but the way she nodded her head, she didn't do a fast nod like, yeah, I am. She said, yes, I am. I'm married. That's the way she nodded. That was the expression. I believe the reason she did that is because, for one, a lot of people know what type of dude Nikki is married to. A lot of people are familiar with Kevin's Petty's situation. And she's making sure you don't come at her and ask her nothing reckless about her husband. Because her husband is already getting a lot of heat from the media with the fact that he's a registered sex offender. Her husband has a lot going on right now. He's even going to trial. He has a trial coming up. It's a lot of negativity surrounding her husband. So when people ask her questions in regards to him, something as simple as, are you married? Which Kevin Scamuels, you know goddamn well this woman is married. She's very observant when people ask her anything relating to her marriage, because the last thing she wants is for somebody to get out of pocket, ask her the wrong question about her husband, ask her the wrong question surrounding her marriage, in which it may put her in an uncomfortable position. Because anybody that's fans of Nicki Minaj, I'm a fan of Nicki Minaj, knows that there's a lot of controversy surrounding her husband. So when Kevin Scamuels asked her that question, now remember, she already said earlier, I heard how you go in on women. I heard, she didn't quote those exact words, but she's insinuating, I already know how you get down. I already know how you come for women. I already know. So you better be careful with how you ask me about my marriage. That's why she didn't verbalize. She didn't verbalize yes or no, because she don't want to give him the key to open that compartment. She don't want him getting comfortable in that. Well, how long y'all been married? Well, she just did not want to give him that door to go any further. That is why she just nodded her head slowly, and she wouldn't say yay, nay, or nothing. Everybody knows she married Kevin Scamuels, so why the hell he asked her that, I don't know. But I know one thing, Nicki Minaj wasn't having it. She was not going to give him any more leeway with that question, which is why she didn't verbally reply and say much of anything. But if you see the interview, her facial expression alone lets you know she's acknowledging her marriage, but she's making sure this Negro is careful at how he decides to come at her when it comes to pertaining to making any comments, asking any questions, anything surrounding her marriage or her husband.
Relationship is a skill set. It's different than dating in short term. We really want to talk that kind of stuff. And what successful people who are doing good in their professional life want to fail in their personal life. And in the Black community particularly, when we fail in our personal lives,
fair use.
Because so few of us get married, it's almost like we like to see people's marriages fall. But we need more of those things in order to build whatever we're going to be, because people may not like my method, but I want to see more Black men who want Black wives get with Black women. And that's the outcome we're getting. It ain't pretty.
Now, as Mr. Scamuels is speaking, Nicki Minaj has rolled her eyes several times while he's explaining himself. It's like, I'm not buying none of what you say, but since you've always had something to say, I brought your ass on here just so I can hear the bull that you have for me. But you can really tell she's listening, but at the same time, she's not letting the BS surpass her. She's listening respectfully, but at the same time, her facial, men, y'all got to pay attention to body language. And it amazed me how a lot of the men in the chat room was like, Nikki was listening to him the whole time. Nikki was, y'all was giving her all of this praise and worship because she was listening to your great value godfather. But what y'all did not pay attention to, a real man pays attention to a woman's body language, her eye contact. What good is a woman listening to you guys when she's rolling her eyes? That's like you being on top of a woman, pumping up and down on her, thinking you're doing something, thinking she's getting an orgasm and she's not. So you think because a woman is letting you pump up and down on her, that means she's enjoying the sex. Pay attention to her body language. If she's rolling her eyes the whole goddamn time, you ain't doing it for her. Just get off of her, climb out, and finish jacking off because you're not doing anything. What I'm looking at right now, Nicki Minaj is looking like one of these women in the moment. Like, I will be glad when he's finished. He's boring the hell out of me. He thinks he's doing something. He thinks he's turning me on. He thinks I'm getting off. I'm not getting off at all. I am just waiting for him to hurry up and bust a nut so we can be finished and I can move on. That's the kind of look Nicki Minaj. So men, before y'all go in the chat room paying too much homage to your great value godfather, how Nicki is respecting him and listening to him, Nikki's being a woman, listening to the bullshit. Most respectful women, we can listen to your bullshit and not disrespect you. Okay? Let's go.
Sometimes they
Can I say something? Real quick? Black women, can we stop talking about if these niggas want us or not?
All right, let me stop there. I just proved my case. She let him do all the finessing, all that advertising, while she's rolling her eyes, waiting for him to hurry up and busting up because she wanted it over with. She goes right in, respectfully, and says, ladies. Because at this point, she's tired. She's tired of the finessing. The finessing is boring her. She wants him to hurry up and bust a nut and get it over with. Because you taking too long. I'm not about to come. It's not going to happen. So let me just get right to the point. At this point, she's had enough of the finessing. She's read right through him. She done figured out he's trying to finesse. He's trying to run game. And she's not buying it. So now she's getting ready to go in and get these sisters right together. These sisters who are calling into his show. These sisters who are worshiping men of his caliber that really doesn't have too much respect for women, who doesn't respect the mindset of women. He wants to group all women and put them in the same box for the most part. She's tired of it. She's over it. So now Nicki Minaj is ready to go in. So I'm just going to back it up just a little bit so the point doesn't get lost. So I'm just going to back it up just a little bit. And I'm going to let Nikki get ready to drill him. Since he didn't have the balls to drill her, I'm going to let her get ready to drill. Well, not him, but she's going to drill him indirectly and watch he sit there like the submissive groupie that he is. Let's go.
Y'all, can we stop talking about if these niggas want us or not? Excuse me, Kevin. This is not. I'm talking to black women real quick. Can we stop posting all day on TikTok? Because I newly went to TikTok and I just kept seeing this. Black women, can we stop talking about if these successful black men want us or not? Like, can we just focus on us and we be successful and then we go out there and we decide who the fuck we want? Because what I've been seeing is, I feel like I've been seeing men using that as an opportunity because they've been hurt and somebody done went to them, and they've been using it as a way to come out and lash out and poke fun at black women.
Now, while she's going in, she's nicely, and that's what grown women do. A grown woman, she doesn't have to always handle a man in a ratchet manner by how the fuck you gonna sit there and disrespect us by. No, she's doing it in the classy, ladylike, in her own ratchet ladylike / manner. She's saying, Kevin, can I say this? No disrespect to you. And of course, he gives her the floor because for one, he ain't got no choice to give her the floor because for once, he's in another woman's house. No woman is in his house. And the other time, it's women in his house on his platform where he can tell them to be quiet, where he can mute them, where he can do all the talking. But see, this is what happens when you become a groupie. When you go to somebody else's house, you go to somebody else's environment, that gives them all the room. And now you have to submit. Mr. Scamuels is used to being on the opposite team. He's used to being the one having women come to his platform and submitting to his guidelines, his rules, his policy. But see, being the groupie that he is, he didn't think about any of that. He didn't think about, now wait a minute, the way I speak about black women, am I taking a chance going to Nicki Minaj's platform in which I can't mute her, or I don't have the balls to put her in check if she get out of pocket? No, he's up there sitting there quietly, humbly, like a little student in pre-K class, drinking a Red Bull because he's feeling some type of way, but he knows this is not his house. So therefore, he cannot attack, get back like he normally would do. Now keep in mind, if he is the real guru that he said he is, and he doesn't mind putting a black woman in check, it wouldn't matter if he was at her house on near her platform. It wouldn't matter if he came to her platform. It wouldn't matter if she's a millionaire. None of that. I'm not saying he had to disrespect her like a lot of guys said. He didn't have to disrespect her, but he could have still put her in check. He's done it all this time. This is what he does. This is our man. This is our great value godfather. He's the voice for black men. He puts women in check who try to get out of pocket with black men. And in this point of time, she was clearly getting him in pocket. He's sitting there humbly and accepting it. He don't have a choice because he ran over there to her like a groupie. Okay? Not only that, he doesn't want to rub her wrong. He wants this woman's attention. As much as he's used to women getting him attention, the rules have reversed. He's the one seeking attention here. So he's going to be humble. He's going to stay in his place. He's going to submit because, again, he is in the presence of the queen bee. He put himself in peasant mode because, see, he ain't had the balls to invite Nicki Minaj to his platform. He ain't that confident, but he ran to hers. So now you getting what's coming to you because you ran over there like a groupie. No more than a groupie who done ran to that basketball player's suite room. He's acting a fool. He's disrespecting her, cussing her out after he done bust a nut into her or whatever. She got to deal with it or leave because she put herself in his environment. Kevin Scamuels put himself in Nikki's environment as a groupie. Why? Because he was starstruck simping. He was so glad to be in her presence. He didn't care how he got there, as long as he got there. Let's go, Nikki. Give him that drill. Give him that heat game, girl.
And use it as a way to feel like they somebody or they something. Or so for all you niggas that's doing that on TikTok, wherever the fuck y'all at, eat a dick, go away. Nobody gives a shit about you. And I want black women to stop fucking posting about whether or not y'all want black women or not.
Nah, she said y'all, including Kevin Scamuels. She didn't say some of you black men. She said y'all, plural, more than one. She's saying, basically, she's going against everything Kevin Scamuels ever built his content off of. He built his content off of teaching and promoting for black women to be or build themselves to be a certain way in order for black men to want them. And Nicki Minaj demolished all of that in 2.3 seconds. She demolished everything he promoted. Because she's basically saying, why the hell are black women worried about niggas like you, Kevin Scamuels, who are expecting or holding women, black women, to a certain standard, to be a certain way in order to appease y'all, to appeal to y'all, to be attracted to y'all. What she's saying, and she's telling you in her own classy ratchet way, F you too, nigga. Because you are part of the reason that some of these men think this way. So I'm telling you and your kitten fleas, telling black women to stop allowing men like you and your kitten fleas to make you feel as if you're not worthy unless they say so. Then to add insult to injury, as a grown man, she said they could eat a dick. Let me play that again, because we got to get that in one more time, y'all.
There, and we decide who the fuck we want. Because what I've been seeing is, I feel like I've been seeing men using that as an opportunity because they've been hurt and somebody done something to them, and they've been using it as a way to come out and lash out and poke fun at black women.
Now I want to pause right here. Now that does ring some truth, but the thing is, that's for both. That's for black men and black women. Hurt people hurt people. Anytime somebody's been hurt or been damaged, whether you're a black man who's been damaged by black women or a black woman damaged by black men, hurt people hurt people. We take our pain out on other people. We lash out, disrespect other people, all because we're angry and upset and bitter about things that have occurred from the opposite gender. So I agree with her, but what I disagree is it's on both sides. It's not just men and not just women. Both of us have experienced some level of hurt, and if you don't get any control or get any grasp or get any help over the things that have happened to you, you will go around hurting and attacking everybody who has nothing to do with your pain. And of course, Kevin Samuels was sitting there humbly. He folded. This was his folding moment. He folded like a fabric softener sheet. He folded like laundry. He folded like a goddamn folder. He just goddamn folded. He folded. And he knew better. He knew to fold and humble himself because this was not his house to run. So, let's proceed.
And use it as a way to feel like they somebody or they something. Or so for all you niggas that's doing that on TikTok, wherever the fuck y'all at, eat a dick, go away. Nobody gives a shit about you. And I want black women to stop fucking posting about whether or not y'all want black women or not. Okay? Well, I want black women just to focus on themselves, be successful, and then you go out there and you decide the trajectory of your life.
Now, Kevin Scamuels was getting ready to interrupt. I don't know if y'all peeped that. He was getting ready to interrupt. Because it was eating him alive like cancer. You got to remember, this man is used to being in control. He's used to being the one to put a woman in check. He's not used to sitting there this long, humbly, quietly, submissively. He's not used to that. This ain't Mr. Scamuels' original style. Not the great value Godfather. He does not let black women, any black woman that comes on his platform acting like this, they would have been caught a case. And it was eating him alive. You could tell in his body language. He was sitting there trying to be quiet. You know, his knees was shaking like a little meth head. You could tell his body language. It was really getting to him, but he had to be the submissive groupie that he is because he was starstruck simping. He made sure he quieted real quick. He was getting ready to interrupt, but he remembered, oh shit, this ain't my house. Let me shut the F up. He humbled himself real quick, right away. So I will give Kevin Scamuels points on that. He humbled himself immediately Once he felt he was getting ready to get out of pocket, I get it. He's not used to shutting up. He's used to making women shut up. This has got to be a very hard experience for Mr. Scamuels right now. I give him points for conducting himself. No matter how much drill or heat game Nicki Minaj was giving him, hey, he really handled himself well. He didn't get out of pocket. So one thing I will say, Kevin Scamuels is a professional at not letting people see him get shook. But we know you got shook, bro. But we gonna continue.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of hurt on both sides.
Cupcaking. We want to be mutual. You're never mutual with women when they call in. It's always, you need to, you need to, you too. Mr. Scamuels, why you never have that energy for other women when they call into your show? Why you never say, well, you know what? I'm going to let you know what you need to work on, but this is something we as black men, we also need to work on. Now, I'm not saying he never does it, because I know it's going to be one or two capers where you don't ever watch his show, so he do be saying that. He don't say it enough. My thing is, this was his time to drill and give that heat game. Why is he up here being Dr. Phil, being the mutual mediator, the understander? This is not Mr. Scamuels' style. He's not being himself right now. That's what's making me upset. This is not our Kevin Scamuels. This is not the Great Value Godfather's usual game. He's fumbling. He's folding. You're understanding? When the hell you started being understanding about men and women? Now, if his content was always about black men and black women being mutual and having, okay, I'll be like, okay, no, Kevin always talks like that. This ain't his style, man. This is some cupcake and fuckery going on. Let's proceed, Mr. Understanding. Let's see how he tries to mutually get black women and black men to understand each other. Let's see.
And especially in the black community, we don't really do a lot of counseling, therapy. I recommend therapy often because we got a lot of stuff individually that we want to deal with. And marriage and relationships are not for everybody. And I'm just trying to, ultimately I ask people, what do you want? What do you want? And what are you prepared to do to get what you want? And are you willing to pay that cost? It's really the conversation.
We already pretty much got the overall concept of this because I'm going in close to an hour. In the end, the conversation continued to be a little bit more civil. She didn't drill him as much. He mutually stayed balanced because he knew this was not the time to turn up. This was not the time to put a woman in her place. This was not the space for him to be able to do that. So she did state that she wasn't going to go in and drill and this or whatever. But to me, she has already pretty much done that. And Nikki played it smart. She balanced it. She got them right together indirectly. And he also stayed mutual and balanced the whole time because he did not want to tip the boat. I say all that to say this. My overall summary of this is that Mr. Scamuels did not live up to his potential. Not the potential he has always displayed throughout the duration of his YouTube career. So I really feel like he folded. I felt like he was starstruck simping. Other than that, they both did handle the interview very professionally. They didn't throw any daggers, but it was just enough for Nikki to get her point across that, hey, it is sisters out here such as myself that's watching you. We are paying attention to you. However, on the other hand, that also didn't send the best of vibes to the men who support him, who supports his drill sessions, who supports him, really throwing that ammunition. So I'm not sure if the guys have the same energy. I don't know if their outlook on this has changed. It seems like a few has, but for the most part, I doubt this interview is going to stumble him, is going to knock him off, or is going to really bring him down. You know, it's going to always be somebody that's going to simp and cape for somebody, regardless of how many times their true colors keeps getting exposed, no matter how many times they get caught up contradicting themselves. I mean, look at Tasha K. She still got people caping for her, even after she has admitted to being a liar and bringing up false information, making up false stories. She still got people believing in her, still got people support her. So, you know, one thing about it, being a content creator these days, you don't have to worry about exposure. I heard Derek Jackson still got women rocking for him. I mean, so people love phoniness. People respect the fake more than they do the real. So one thing about it, if you get caught lying or you get caught folding, you still gonna have your support. It's nothing to fear. It's nothing to worry about. You're still good. So Mr. Scamuels is still going to progress. You know, like I said, much success to Mr. Samuels and, you know, those who support him. Big ups to Nicki Minaj and to the Barbs and all of that. Other than that, this has been very interesting, but this just goes to show y'all need to stop worshiping and praising these celebrities and especially these content creators, because the moment the price is right or they get in the right company or somebody, they're going to fold. They could change all their narratives, because you have people like Mr. Scamuels himself trying to get to the mainstream, and they don't mind folding and folding on people to get to where they're trying to go. And if it means stepping on some people's toes, folding on people, leaving people behind who started off in a journey with you, getting up there, and you not, you know, acknowledging those or paying homage to those who were with you during the struggle, then that's what's to be expected, y'all. So anyway, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what you think of this. I don't mind your comments. I don't even mind you Scamuels cult members coming in, but be respectful. The moment you start talking greasy or you say something out of pocket, I will remove your comment and I will block you from being able to come in on my channel or my chat room with that negative energy. So be respectful, okay? I don't mind you having a different opinion, but I respect y'all Godfather. I ain't going over there in his chat room. I ain't going in on y'all and saying anything reckless to y'all. So y'all not gonna come over here and stirring no foolishness or anything up in my chat room as well. So anyway, if it doesn't apply, you ain't got to apply. You don't like it, hey, all you got to do is leave. You know, you don't have to hang out. You don't have to comment or anything or whatever. So anyway, it is your diva and knowledge Lady Mocha, represent Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Take care.